The Grand Egyptian Museum opened 12 new galleries today, and I'm going to show you all of those galleries in this YouTube video. I went to the gem this morning and took the video all throughout today. I wanted to get it to my viewers as soon as possible because I know all my viewers want any updates that I have about Egypt's largest museum. In addition to showing you the 12 main galleries that opened at the gem today, I'm also going to talk about tips and tricks for visiting the gem, like where to buy tickets and how to get to and from the Grand Egyptian Museum. I'm also going to talk about other places on the site of the Grand Egyptian Museum, like some of the really great local Egyptian restaurants that you can try, and also talking about the gem's gift shop, which has an amazing selection of local handmade goods. So the Grand Egyptian Museum, let's jump in to this opening of 12 new galleries. And if you don't know me already, my name is Gus. I started Egypt Adventures Travel because I love Egypt and I want to help people have amazing trips there. I lead my own group tours, I put together private tours, and I help consult with people on their upcoming trips to Egypt to get them connected with vetted and trusted local guides and companies. Head to my website and fill out an interest form, and I'd love to talk to you about your trip. So it's time to check out the main galleries at the Grand Egyptian Museum. Let's go take a look. The 12 main galleries at the Grand Egyptian Museum are laid out in a really easy to follow format. The entrance here has this diagram which shows the galleries horizontally, the ones that are the same color, being grouped by time period from ancient Egypt, and vertically they're grouped on a theme. I'm going to show you the gallery marker for each individual gallery before I show you what that gallery looks like. So let's start out with Gallery 1. Galleries 1, 2, and 3 are all focusing on the very beginning of the ancient Egyptian civilization. The theme for Gallery 1 is ancient Egyptian society. So now you'll notice all of the objects that you see in this gallery are all focusing on society in ancient Egypt during this particular time period. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in each gallery because in this video I want to just give you the overview of what it would look like when you come to visit the Grand Egyptian Museum. So you'll notice I'll be moving pretty quickly through each gallery in order to show you all of the galleries in this video. Another thing to note is that these 12 main galleries are open. However, the Tutankhamun Gallery or the King Tut galleries and also the Solar Boat Museum are not yet open. So we still have more galleries that will be opening at the Grand Egyptian Museum in the future. However, the King Tut Gallery and the Solar Boat Gallery are not open at this time. And I wish I could tell you when those galleries were going to open, but the truth is we have no idea, and the Grand Egyptian Museum has not made any announcements about when the Tut Galleries or the Solar Boat Museum are going to open. Even this opening of these 12 main galleries only came about a few days ago, and today was the very first day. The turnaround for this has been really, really fast, which is why I wanted to get this video out to my viewers so quickly. You'll notice that some areas of this gallery itself are not finished, like this display in the middle. This display part looks like it should be something similar to the Nile River, I'm guessing, but it doesn't look like it's quite finished yet. So even though these galleries are open, you'll notice some of these placards and some of these areas look like they're not quite what they'll look like when the museum is fully completed. So now we've finished up the first gallery. We're going to walk to gallery number 2. This is one of the galleries that's parallel to gallery 1. So that means it's going to be on a different theme, but it's going to stick to that same time period of ancient Egyptian history. I noticed right away when I came into this gallery, this really nice display about the progression of building pyramids in ancient Egypt, starting with the really basic tombs that predated the pyramids all the way up to the pyramids in Giza. So here's gallery number 2, the placard for it. Gallery 2, same time period as number 1, but the theme is kingship instead. So everything in that first gallery was focusing on society for this same time period, but this gallery is focusing on kingship, or the ancient Egyptian pharaoh. So all of the objects that they've grouped in this section are going to be focusing on that theme for this particular time period. What I loved about these galleries at the Grand Egyptian Museum was all of the well-labeled objects. Every single object on display had a placard talking about what the artifact was in English and in Arabic, so you really get a great idea of what every single piece is in this museum without necessarily needing a tour guide. This is something that I think tourists could do easily on their own, wandering around on a self-guided tour. Now we're getting up to gallery number 3, which as you can see is almost done, but it's roped off. I don't know when this is going to be open. Maybe it'll be open in the next couple of days, since I was here on the very first day that they opened these galleries. Maybe it's going to take a bit longer for that one to be open to the public. So going back now to gallery number 2, wrapping up the gallery that's on kingship in ancient Egypt, particularly the Old Kingdom period. Throughout each gallery I visited, there was clear signage as well showing which gallery I was in and where I was on the map in terms of the other galleries. Here is a beautiful, beautiful alabaster statue in this gallery number 2. And I'll just let you take in all of the objects that you see for the rest of this gallery. So now the tour continues down and we're going vertical. We're going to the next gallery in the same theme, but in a different time period. So when you go to the galleries that are horizontal with one another, those are the galleries that are the same time period, but 3 different themes. Gallery 4 talking about beliefs during the Middle Kingdom and the Second Intermediate period. Travelers who are visiting the gem have the option to bring their own tour guide with them, but you also have an option to book an actual guided tour through the Grand Egyptian Museum led by an Egyptologist there on staff. So that's a great option for groups or for folks who want to have a guided tour at this museum, even though with how well laid out it is, a guide isn't necessary. The ticket for a self-guided tour, that's what I'm doing, just walking around and looking at the galleries myself, that's 1,200 Egyptian pounds for foreigners. And the guide with you during the tour of the museum, so a guide giving you that tour of the museum, is 1,600 Egyptian pounds. These prices might fluctuate and change later on, but that's what they are today on the first day of this gallery's opening. Here's Gallery 5, focusing on the theme of kingship in the Middle Kingdom and the Second Intermediate period. I'll let you enjoy as I show you this entire gallery, just like what you would see if you came to the Grand Egyptian Museum. And now here's the 6th gallery, that same time period, Middle Kingdom and Second Intermediate period, but focusing on society. So the last theme that we're going to be looking at for this particular time period. And after this gallery is finished, we're at the halfway point. We've seen 6 out of the 12 main galleries that open today at the Grand Egyptian Museum. Moving on to galleries 7, 8, and 9, our time period changes to the New Kingdom. This gallery, number 7, focuses on society in the New Kingdom. The New Kingdom boasts pharaohs like Ramses the Great, Hatshepsut, Amenhotep III, so it's a really important time of ancient Egypt, and it's what a lot of people think about when they picture what an ancient Egyptian pharaoh would look like. So I'll let you enjoy this gallery number 7 on society during Egypt's New Kingdom period. Gallery number 8 keeps the time period of the New Kingdom, but it's focusing on kingship in the New Kingdom, so looking at the pharaohs of Egypt's New Kingdom period. I loved the multimedia displays they had in between some of the galleries. Gallery 9 focuses on beliefs in Egypt's New Kingdom period. This is the last gallery of the 3 that are dedicated to this part of Egypt's history. Gallery 9 also has this walk lookout area where you can look out over part of the city of Giza, and then it connects to a smaller atrium area for the 9th gallery, which you'll see here. Galleries 10, 11, and 12 shift from the periods after the New Kingdom all the way through the Greco-Roman time period.
Also because they believe that they feed the souls by incense.
Gallery 11 focuses on kingship in the time period after Egypt's New Kingdom all the way to the Greco-Roman period. And the final gallery, Gallery 12, is talking about society during this time period in ancient Egypt's history. So this was the final gallery of the 12 main galleries that opened up today. Gallery 12 has a cool lookout spot where you can check out the Great Hall or the main hall in the Grand Egyptian Museum from up high. After finishing Gallery 12, clear signs showed me where I needed to exit. The exit was just going up the stairs all the way back to Gallery number 1 and exiting out of the main part of the Grand Egyptian Museum. And then once out of the main galleries, you can either take the moving walkway or you can go back down the grand staircase in order to get back to the Great Hall. This reminds me of accessibility, which I wanted to address. There are elevators, benches for resting, moving walkways, and also elevators to lift guests between sections or ramps to go down. So the gem, I would say, looked to me to be 100% wheelchair accessible or ready for those who have mobility needs like that. So now we're back down in the Great Hall of the Gem, and I want to talk a bit more about the other parts of this museum besides those 12 main galleries that opened. The Great Hall has that colossal statue of Ramses the Great, which you see here. That's a really great photo op when you come to this museum. The Great Hall also has information desks where you can go ask any questions that you might have about the gem. And it also has the Grand Egyptian Museum gift store, which I think everybody should stop at, because unlike stuff that you see at the Khan Khalili Souk, or a lot of the vendors who are selling outside the pyramids or at the temples or on Nile cruise ships, this museum's gift shop has done a great job sourcing local vendors and local artisans for all of their products. Everything you see in here is Egyptian, and they also have done an excellent job curating a great selection of some of the top names in Egyptian art and design. So anything you buy from the gem will be a great keepsake for your trip. And I tell people it's a much better quality stuff than the stuff you see out in like Khan Khalili or that you'd buy out on the street or at like a gift shop that you have in downtown Cairo or something like that. So walking through the gift shop now, there's some other retail areas outside this store. It looks like Mandarin Kawaider is coming to the gem. That is a great local ice cream shop and bakery, so I'll be excited when that opens. This is like a little convenience store, so you can go get cheap bottled water or bag of chips. Then there's a bunch of higher end vendors, like you see that leather goods store on the left. Further down, there's this rug shop. There's a couple of jewelry shops. So there's some pretty high end stuff here at the gem as well. Now, one of my favorite things to talk about is where to eat. So across from the retail area, there's an area with a bunch of restaurants. The one you're looking at here on the left, that first one, Zooba, that is my top choice. It is a delicious place with local Egyptian food. 30 North, they don't really have food there, but it's a local Egyptian chain, and they have really great coffee drinks. So here's a closer look at Zooba. Zooba is Egyptian street food made in an accessible setting. So it's Egyptian street food that's made accessible to tourists with their menu in English and with everything being made really hygienically, unlike some food that you might get from a street cart. So I'll talk more about Zooba later. Here's another food option at the gem that I have not tried yet. Of course, it's the Grand Egyptian Museum, so there has to be a Starbucks. That's what you see on your right-hand side. And then further down, there's a gelato place, there's a macaron place, so a couple other sweet treat kind of spots. And then tucked behind that kind of sweets area is this last statue of Ramses the Great, an exit to one of the gem's courtyard areas where it looks like they're still building some stuff. This museum is still under construction. It's not 100% finished yet. And then you've got Ratios, which when that opens up is going to be crazy. That is a delicious bakery, local bakery here in Cairo. And then you've got Beano's, a coffee shop. And you also have this kitty who is so sweet and was in the gem hanging out and wanted to be petted. We ended up having breakfast and dinner at Zooba, so going back to Zooba because it was so good. Here is our Egyptian breakfast tray. Was amazing with some lemon mint and some fresh orange juice. And then here's their menu for dinner and also just a little kind of history of the restaurant. Dinner was hawashi and a liver sandwich with some french fries. And here's a look at 30 North, that coffee shop that I mentioned. That's a local chain. Great place if you want to get a cappuccino or a shot of espresso when you finish your tour. And just for fun, something else I saw at the gem is this really cute kind of selfie photo boothy type thing where you can use an interactive touchscreen to set up taking a photo. So I'm just looking silly videoing it, but it takes a couple of pictures and then you pick your favorite one and you can send it in an email to yourself. And then you can select to give the gem your permission for them to post it online as well. The only thing left to show you of the gem is the outside. That's the main entrance that you go in to get to the Great Hall. And then there also is a beautiful view of the Giza Plateau. Kind of hard for me to get it on video from this angle, but there's one of the Giza pyramids over there in the distance. And then the last thing that you'll notice in this open courtyard is the hanging obelisk. So that's the obelisk you see right here. They say it's hanging because they have it up on a raised platform. And what's really fun fact, this obelisk was taken here from Tanis, and this is me back in 2012 when I first came to Egypt, standing in between what then was the broken obelisk in Tanis. Now I want to talk about how to get to and from the gem. If you don't have a private driver, public transit isn't really an option, so I recommend taking Uber. We were able to take Uber from downtown Cairo all the way out to the Grand Egyptian Museum, and it was about 150 pounds, which is about $3 US. So here we are coming up on the gem there to the left of the highway. Our Uber dropped us off in about 30 minutes, so it was really, really quick. And the parking situation and the drop-off at the gem is a little bit weird, so you might have to kind of scurry over some construction or a median or something, but you don't have to cross the street, which is great. Leaving the gem by Uber was really easy too. We walked out to the parking lot area and then had to walk from the parking lot area onto the street because Ubers and taxis are not allowed in this area at this point. So you'll notice people out there, everybody's waiting for their Ubers. So we walked out to this point, got Uber requested on my phone, and then the Uber pickup place that the app suggested was a little bit further down, so we actually walked a little further down the street, but then we got into our Uber and we're back to downtown within 30 minutes. The Uber cost about 180 Egyptian pounds. To get tickets to the gem, you can buy tickets in person with a Visa or MasterCard credit card. That's what I decided to do, and it was really easy because I tried the online system, and the online system for some reason was not working for me yesterday. So you could go to visit-gem.com to get to the official website for the museum, and you can buy the tickets. You see gem main galleries, that kind of teal picture. It'll take you to a place where you can book tickets online. I wasn't able to get this system to work though, because when I got to the end and had to enter in personal information, for some reason it wasn't accepting my phone number and the website seemed to be glitching. I also wouldn't recommend doing this optional add-on unless you have young kids with you. So now you've got to see the 12 main galleries at the Grand Egyptian Museum. We talked about how to visit the gem, how to buy tickets, what other things are yet to open that we can look forward to in the future. So I want to know your thoughts, your questions, and your comments. Write them on the video. I love hearing from my viewers, and it helps me really shape my content and get back to people with answers to their questions. Thanks for watching. I'm Gus with Egypt Adventures Travel, and I'll see you on the next video.